Neethi, and welcome to the Very Brave Podcast's very first episode. Listen up, because I'm about to tell you the most important advice you'll ever hear in your life. Stop what you're doing right now and download every single social media app on your phone. If you're struggling in any part of life right now, you can find the perfect sources on social media who will tell you what you should look like, what to wear, what to eat in a day, and anything else that will take away from your originality and turn you into someone else's clone. I'm absolutely joking, by the way, if that wasn't clear. No matter how much you try, you're never going to be someone else's clone. Well then, I wonder, what kind of monster is sitting in our brains ordering us to change our appearance through social media posts and social comparison? I started asking this question to myself because it's something I went through. I'll come back to that in a bit. But first, let me introduce you to the nucleus accumbens, a region of your brain located deep within your skull that is activated while experiencing core rewards like food, exercise, money, and things you need to survive. Therefore, when it activates due to social rewards such as approval, popularity, and likes on social media, you start to think that you need validation on social media to survive. And regardless of whether you post too much on social media or not, when you see other people on the app getting likes that you aren't, another character in your brain steps in, the anterior cingulate cortex, or ACC for short. The ACC notices a gap between your real self and your ideal self and tries to convince you to fix who you are, to stop feeling emotionally distressed. Counterintuitive, am I right? And I know you've heard a million times that what people put on social media isn't always real. Then why is that so hard to believe when you're actively scrolling? Well, some parts of your prefrontal cortex, the brain region right behind your forehead, are responsible for logical reasoning and reminding you, hey, this is edited, this is AI generated, move on. But in teenagers, those areas aren't even fully developed yet, so they don't do the best job of saving you from unrealistic beauty standards. Everyone you know, even the people you think look perfect, have these brain regions that compare them to others, make them feel insecure, and pressure them to change their appearance. And one thing I can promise you is that you are not the only person in your town, in your school, or even in your neighborhood that feels this way. I conducted a survey asking 184 teenagers questions about the role body image and social comparison play in their lives. And the most shocking, heartbreaking response was that when asked who they're most likely to talk to when they feel bad about their appearance, the most common answer was no one. Parents or guardians were only chosen about 17% of the time, highlighting a severe gap in emotional support and communication among teenagers and their parents. Anonymous comments from some of these teens talk about what they wish their parents knew about body image issues. A respondent states, as the world changes, pressure to fit the ideal appearance increases, and a lot of teens don't see another choice, leading them to take drastic measures such as skipping meals. A lot of teens don't understand or have the patience to let the body take its time. I wish adults would help teens walk through the entire process and show that by taking the right and healthy steps, the body will take its time to make every teen look the way they like. These are such wise words. And every response I've seen, every interview I've conducted, or research article I've read after the survey have all pointed to a solid support system being the most important thing, helping young people see past their insecurities and start taking better care of their bodies. But Rome wasn't built in one day, and you can't change a child's brain through one statement either. A short but powerful quote by another respondent that helps you kind of peek into the mind of a teenager says, just because you say I'm pretty doesn't mean I feel it. Just sit with that quote for a second. Imagine how this kid must be feeling about themselves. And I'm sure your heart breaks for them, but you don't really know how to help them other than say, hey, you look pretty today. Well, it's not your fault, and it's not theirs either. When people think mean things about themselves over and over and over, the neural connections in their brain get stronger and stronger because they're being used repeatedly in this process called rumination or overthinking. And after a point, it gets hard to break this cycle of thinking because your brain is just so used to it. So changing the way this teen feels about their appearance will take time, patience, open communication, a solid support system, and a change in perspective. One of the strongest recovery methods in body dysmorphia research talks about finding hope for the future and a reason why you want to work towards body confidence. One respondent said it best, there needs to be a reason, a why. Just doing it to do it doesn't work. Think about all the goals you have, such as graduating from college, achieving your dream job, or becoming a parent. Imagine all the amazing things you could accomplish in your life and career if you loved yourself and your body more. And to the teen from the survey, I do hope you feel pretty, but not just pretty good looking, also pretty confident, pretty brave, pretty smart, pretty kind, pretty successful. But let's be so honest, it's not that easy to feel positively about your body when a social media magnet and the adolescent brain are constantly making you feel like you have to compare yourself to others. 82.6% of teenagers agree that social media makes them feel worse about their appearance. But my survey is not the only source of this conclusion. A meta-analysis conducted by psychologists from the United States, France, and Italy pulled 83 separate studies in over 55,000 people to find a clear correlation between social comparison online and both their body image and eating disorder symptoms. In plain language, people who compare themselves more on social media tend to feel worse about their bodies and show more eating-related problems, such as restrictive eating, binge eating, overexercising, and mainly body dissatisfaction. Eating disorder symptoms are actually much more common than people realize because of the fact that teenagers don't really express things like this, even to trusted individuals. Hence the reason why the most popular answer to who do you talk to when you feel bad about your appearance was no one. I was once a scared teenager too, who was struggling with eating and suffering in silence like many are today. My story actually starts in the first grade, during the age of perfect-looking Barbies and princesses instead of TikTok influencers. My friend had come over for a play date and asked me to compare waist sizes. We stood face to face and she measured our waists with her hands. She proceeds to say, "Sorry, Neethi, you're bigger than me." I looked around, confused and embarrassed, like I had committed a crime without realizing it. 5 years later, this insecurity arose again when I was trapped in my room during the COVID-19 pandemic, and I was first exposed to social media as a 6th grader. I didn't understand calories or diets or the perfect workout routines then, but I stumbled across videos of celebrities talking about their diets and their bodies in ways that made me feel like I wasn't good enough. I want to look like them, I thought. I started obsessing over ways to change my body fast, cutting out foods I used to love and convincing myself that skipping meals meant I was doing something right, when really it was hurting me so much. Even after all of this, I just couldn't love my body. The rest of middle school, I was struggling silently. I hated my body, but I couldn't tell anyone except my best friend. And when I had trouble making friends, I blamed my body. When I didn't like the way the dance costume looked at me, I blamed my body. Fast forward to my first year of high school. I had now entered an environment filled to the brim with social comparison. Every day, my mom packed me a very nice lunch, and every day, I found ways to avoid eating it without her noticing. I was tracking and controlling food obsessively and hiding it from the people who loved me most. I could no longer focus in my classes, and I would feel dizzy or tired in the middle of a math lesson. Until last year, I was still skipping meals to fit in with the popular kids, impress a boy, or try to feel better about myself. And let me tell you, I very, very highly do not recommend this behavior. It was incredibly dangerous and unhealthy and did not get me to where I wanted to be, mentally nor physically. My recovery has been a long and patient journey, accompanied by an amazing support system that allowed me to talk through all of my feelings and insecurities until they no longer crippled me the way that they used to. Celebrating healthy habits and progress, looking up to role models who promote body positivity, and as odd as they may seem, grapes have played a major role in my journey thus far. I used to call grapes my safe food, meaning whenever I knew I needed energy for my math test next period, or when I was uncomfortable eating around others, I would eat grapes. Eating grapes guilt-free was my very first step to establishing physically and mentally healthy habits once again, which led to the creating of this podcast using the name Berry Brave, since grapes count as a berry. I used to think I was the only one feeling insecure about my body, so I started this survey to see how big of a problem this truly was. And I was so shocked to see so many people were struggling with the same thing. The overwhelming community response, sharing their thoughts and personal stories about body image and eating struggles, almost brought me to tears when I saw how many teenagers have been or are going through the same sort of issues that I struggled with for so long. Eating disorders and body dysmorphia are very real and dangerous problems in today's world. And there aren't enough easily accessible resources that teens feel comfortable reaching out to. And I thought long and hard about what could have helped me when I was struggling, and finally landed on an idea. An app, specifically for teenagers, that promotes a healthy, positive body image, where you're encouraged to nourish your body, learn about your brain, body, and health, and understand social media literacy. And most importantly, when you're feeling overwhelmed, you can learn to break toxic habits that facilitate this overthinking, then to journal your thoughts, rescue yourself out of stressful moments, and ultimately find your very brave reason to recover. Before I let you go, I wanted to address two things. If you're a teen and something in this episode sounded a little familiar, I need you to hear this. You don't need a diagnosis or a bad enough story to deserve support. None of that invalidates what you're feeling right now. You don't have to wait until it's a crisis. If saying it out loud to a person feels like too much right now, start smaller than that. Write it down. Talk to yourself first. Honestly, that's how I started, with a bowl of grapes and talking through what I'm feeling. One small, brave thing still counts as brave. And the second thing, if you're a parent, supporting a child who doesn't feel great about their body is hard, even if you know that they're so beautiful. Here's one thing to try instead. Instead of asking about their looks, try, has anything online been making you feel bad about yourself recently? And then just listen. Don't take away their social media or give them a list of solutions. You don't have to fix everything in one conversation. You just have to be that person they think of when asked, who do you talk to? Until they answer, is it no one anymore? Right now, if you're the version of me from 6th grade, scared, silent, counting something you shouldn't have to count, this podcast, survey, and everything else I'm building is for you. I see you. And the biggest thing I've learned from my own story and from 184 teenagers who trusted me with theirs is this. Almost none of us are talking about how we feel. Not to counselors, not to parents, sometimes not even to ourselves. If any part of today's episode sounded like your own story, I hope you know there's a place for you here, and it's just getting started. I'll leave support resources in the show notes always. Please use them if you need it. For our next episode, we're hoping to welcome an interview from a very special guest willing to share their story and a different perspective on this widespread issue, which I'm very excited to dive into. If you would like to be involved in this project, please reach out if you want to be a part of what's coming next, including the Very Brave app. Thank you so much for listening to the first episode. I'm your show host, Nathi, and I want to remind you all that you are very, very brave.